Good morning, everybody. It's Roger Emerson. It is Monday Music Moment. As I promised last week, I would discuss at least my take on the copyright issues with virtual choir videos. Hopefully, it will be somewhat helpful. I had a rather lengthy discussion with my attorney, who's a great guy and sort of gets what we do. And, it is an evolving area, and it is, there are lots of gray areas. There are some things to keep in mind, and that's that I always say when it comes to any copyright issue is you want to make every effort to compensate those who have created whatever it is you're using. And so I've made this clear in photocopying and things of that nature. There are ways, if you have out of print materials, you can contact the publisher, and they will almost always give you permission to photocopy. There's a charge for that, but it works pretty well. It takes some time sometimes. What you need to realize is that a print publisher like Hal Leonard is not necessarily the copyright holder. Although Hal Leonard does own copyrights, for instance, to any original works of mine, they are my copyright holder. And if you wanted to do a video of my work and put it up on Facebook or YouTube, they would be the entity to go to for a synchronization or sync license. And then they represent some much bigger entities like Sony, EMI, Disney, etc. But they are just the print publisher, so they cannot give you permission to go ahead and use those particular copyrights outside the arena of print. Having said that, if it were a black and white issue, then the quote unquote proper way to get permission to video and then put up on social media would be to contact the copyright holder. And they will charge you a fee for that. I have a choir director friend who was charged $500 originally for 30 days of use to put up a graduation video. She was able to talk them into 90 days for the same amount. And she wanted to, quote unquote, do it right, and I applaud her for that. However, there are some blanket licenses that YouTube has with virtually many publishers, and Facebook is in the process of doing the same thing, where they pay fees to these copyright holders to compensate them for use of their songs in video or audio format on their sites. And oftentimes there's ads before them that generate revenue that gives them this pool of money that they can go ahead and compensate. The issue is that not all publishers participate in that. I don't believe that Disney does. Disney still requires individual sync licenses. But in most cases, you're probably covered by a blanket license if you were to put a song up of your virtual choir on YouTube and soon Facebook as well. Those agreements are in progress. That does not necessarily preclude an entity from coming to you and saying, I want a sync license in addition. Realize that copyright holders have lost so much money through the loss of CD sales to streaming, are looking for sources of revenue. And until there is a real clear, concise, sort of mechanical, as we have for recordings, which I just learned a few years ago is based on piano rolls that were mechanical, and people were adding and doing arrangements by punching additional holes, that they came up with this mechanical license, and again, it took an act of Congress. And we know how hard that is these days. So, and again, I don't know if I'm helping much or not, but the fact is that particularly during this time of the pandemic, when you have no other outlet and you choose to put up an arrangement, a virtual choir version of a song, Most likely, if there's really a problem, it will be taken down. I doubt whether there's going to be any punitive measures, particularly during this time. And let's hope that over the next few years, this gets sort of sorted out, because we're in the internet has changed everything. Tomorrow, this is very, very important. Tomorrow at 5 p.m., and this would be the 9th of June, ACDA, Chorus America, Nats, and the Barbershop Society are doing a webinar, 5 p.m. Eastern, on this very subject. And hopefully I'm going to be watching to see if there is even greater clarity than what I have provided here, and to get their take on how we move forward, because I think there's going to be more virtual choir situations moving forward, at least for the first semester, until we can get back together. And there were a couple of other entities that are covering, now offering schools streaming license. There's an entity called OneLicense, onelicense.com, that I see in the past couple of weeks has put up a tab for those kinds of permissions based on ADA. It's sort of reasonable cost-wise, but you might want to look into that, particularly if you're going to be streaming concerts. And it may, in fact, help to cover, it may be broad enough to cover even these posting on social media. So I guess we're moving forward. I'm going to take a few weeks off. I hope you do. I'll be back as we get clarity from our school districts on what they will allow moving forward, as far as whether it will be groups cut in half. Let's hope that it's something. Worst case scenario, of course, we can work one-on-one with kids or in small sections, and we want to keep things alive and moving forward. And I'll help any way that I can. And if you have input and things, you can always message me on Facebook, or you can get me at rogeremerson.com. And together we'll move forward. So anyway, please take a deep breath. I'm an optimist. We'll make it through this. We'll be better for it. And we will get together again and make great music. So we'll see you in probably about a month. All right. Take care, and God bless.